yeah, what led me to Nashville was visiting here and thinking about where I was going to go after I got out of school in Minneapolis. My dream, I guess, when I was younger was I was going to come back to Detroit and start a studio and ingrain myself in the hip hop community there, in the rock community.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Yeah, but around the time that I graduated, which was 2006, was when I got out of that program. Detroit was not in a good place. The recording studios that were there were barely open, and I mean recording studios in general at that time, like the music industry was struggling, and it was the downfall of Napster and piracy, and they hadn't figured out iTunes and streaming and all this stuff yet, and it was a weird time. All the record budgets were declining, so all the big these big rooms were shutting down because they didn't have enough work, and so Detroit. You think about that with the music industry, and then combine the recession and the auto industry, and just Detroit struggling as a whole, and there was just no way to be able to like move there and start a career, and there wasn't the same opportunity for massive commercial success that I wanted, the impact that I wanted to be able to have, and how I was going to spend my life in the music industry. I didn't see being possible at that time, and I was told a lot by other people and mentors that you really need to go to one of the three major places to start your career. I think that that's evolved a lot since then, but so I say that from back at that time. Things have definitely opened up a lot, and there's a lot more access to things than there were back then. But it seemed that was necessary, and that's what I continue to be told by the the experts, that you got to pick one of those places. You go to New York, LA, or Nashville, and I really liked the idea of LA, and the idea of like the Hollywood and the the vibe and stuff. But once I started to talk to people there, I felt like it wasn't my scene as much. There was a certain like,
the culture is maybe
it's
different.
just a little different, and I didn't want to be as flashy and like that. I just kind of like hang and just focus on my music and and that sort of thing. I love going there now, and like it's really cool people there, and the vibe is awesome. But I really connected with Nashville. I loved the idea that it was a songwriting town, and that it was respected for the high quality level of pristine production. And I felt like there was a lot that I could learn by starting my career there. The other thing was that it was more affordable than moving to New York or LA. So I came here and visited, and I interviewed at some different studios thinking I was going to get an internship or a job somewhere, and none of those things really came through. But I really enjoyed the people that I met and the community and like the vibe and stuff. And I thought this could be a good place to to start. But I was still really hesitant to move without an internship or without a job, because like where am I? I had no idea. Like where do you start? I didn't know a single person here. And fortunately, right before I graduated, I found a job at a major recording studio, and that's what really sealed the deal for me. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to intern at this place, and if I don't screw up for a few weeks, then there's an opportunity to be an assistant engineer at this major studio in town. And so I packed up my truck, and I didn't even go to the graduation like ceremony thing. I packed up my stuff and drove to Nashville. And that was a very emotional experience, to pull around the corner of 65, the highway that rolls into Nashville, and see the skyline. And like it was very, very emotional. Like I broke down and was like, all right, I'm here. This is happening. This dream that I've had since I was really young is finally coming, and I did it. I'm like, I'm here. I feel like, all right, I made it.
Yeah.
I did not make it. I wasn't anywhere near, but that energy was great. Now a few days later, I was just as emotional, because I showed up to work for that job, and they were like, yeah, we got a little bit of an issue with how we had structured this, and we're not going to be able to have you come on. And I was like, well, I got a lease on an apartment, and I got like enough money to survive for a couple months, and no, everyone else told me no. So what am I going to do? It was pretty crazy. Luckily, the studio manager there, he was really supportive, and he became a great mentor for me, and now a great friend. And he gave me a lot of good insight and support, and was like, dude, you just got to stay after it. You moved here, you did it. You have your vision and what you want to accomplish, and there's opportunity. You just got to stick it out. And he told me, like a lot of people did, that Nashville is a 5-year town. Now a lot of people say it's a 10-year town, meaning that it takes at least 5 to 10 years to really solidify yourself within the industry and really start to have a career blossom, from it. And for a lot of people, it's like it's a 10-year, kind of mark. And so that gave me a little bit of weight off my shoulders. Like, okay, cool, I'm here. I just got to figure out how to pay my bills for a little while, and I'll find another job. I still hadn't even thought about working for myself. I was like, well, I'll just, I'll keep interviewing at places. I'll keep calling around and knocking down doors, and eventually, an opportunity will come up. Well, after a few months of doing that and that not happening at all, I sort of came to this realization that just like how I didn't want to go to a university and spend, 4 years going through a path to be able to just get to what I really wanted to do. I think I was reading, there was this book by Russell Simmons, and one of the lessons in it was just start now. Whatever you want to do it right now. And it doesn't matter what it is or what excuse you're going to give yourself for starting it tomorrow or preparing for it, and I'm not ready yet. Just start now. Whatever that step is, just take the first step to begin. And that really stuck with me. And for some reason, that concept popped back into my head when I was sitting there trying to figure out what the hell am I going to do. And so that's what I did. I immediately just thought, okay, how do I meet artists? I know no one here. And so the first step was just go out to whatever show you can go to and whatever place there's people at, and just try to start meeting people. And at that time, I wasn't I'm still not a really great small talker, and I'm not the dude walks in the room, makes friends with everybody. I'm really analytical and kind of focused on things. And I mean, I love hanging, I love meeting new people and having conversations, but I'm not great at small talk. So moving here, not knowing a single person and walking into places trying to say, hey, what's up, was really awkward for me at first. But again, I just focused back on start now, go after it, do it. You got to make it happen one way or another. And I got over myself and just started going out and, meeting folks and doing that. And then I jumped on Craigslist and started making advertisements for recording. I set up this little makeshift studio in an apartment on Music Row. And it was good to be on Music Row because it was kind of legit that I had a space there. And I made the apartment look like it was a studio, not in a one bedroom apartment. And so people come in and there's a little demo room. And I started cutting some tracks and stuff. And it helped to start to to build up. But I moved here for that that job that never happened, and probably the greatest thing that that never happened to me, that because it pushed me into this ability to be able to choose the work that I do, focus on and be responsible for my own success, and not rely on anybody else for it, which I learned is a really important and essential thing to have in the music industry, because in the entertainment industry as a whole. I don't think anybody's going to go out and do it for you. You can find some really great mentors that give you some really great guidance, but at the end of the day, it's up to you to make it happen. Whether you're an artist or a producer, engineer, artist manager, it's not a deal where you show up and you clock in, 9 to 5. If it's the type of side of the industry that I'm in.